Hi there, and welcome again to an exciting time of talking to people who's experiencing and witnessing a city being changed through their engagement. Today we've got JT. JT, it's great to have you here.
Thank you, Tops.
Excited to hear what you're going to share today with us. We know each other for some time, for some years actually, but just tell us again for people watching, who is JT?
Okay, so I'm part of the Doxa Deo team in Pretoria, serving at Doxa Deo Brooklyn. And I'm taking lead for all our university, all our young adult ministries, and also for the Doxa Deo family. I'm spending a lot of my time planning and focusing specifically on reaching young people within the school, be it a primary school or a high school. We want to reach them with the gospel of Jesus Christ and also help them to set them up for success in their life going forward.
Now, I know, JT, that takes a lot of time to really invest in the next generation, especially in schools, because I don't think every church or ministry find themselves involved in schools. What is that organization called, or how do we see that functioning in schools?
Okay, so we started an organization about 10 years ago called TREE. Now, I know it sounds funny, but it stands basically for Transforming Educational Environments. So we started focusing specifically on that because we saw the school as the community center in every community. So we knew to engage in those areas, we will be actually being directly involved in the development of young people. And we focus there to reach learners, teachers and headmasters, and eventually the parents as well, with the gospel of Jesus Christ, but also just life skills and basic leadership development and so forth. And we see that we really need to be involved in those areas because like I said, it's a community center. It's the place where all the young people, basically most of the communities get together. And we want to be part of that. We want to help shape the future of our country through the ministry and all the programs that we are busy with in those areas.
Now, that's exciting, JT, but I know I'm a parent as well. I've got 3 kids in school at the moment. Not many schools are very open to this. So how does it happen when you've got a vision to get it connected with the learners in a school, but you need to go through so many hoops to get connected? Because we've been in the country through many discussions where people wanted no faith connection to a school, where they don't want any Christian values being taught. So does it work? What's the process to engage with a school?
So like you said, that is a problem for most schools, and with all the freedom of religion and everything. So what we started planning on, and we know, speaking to headmasters, that a headmaster, a principal, the management of a school wants to create a healthy environment. And that's where we come in. We want to focus on a healthy environment because we see a healthy school will give us a healthy future. So the 3 basic focus areas that we bring to school is to bring a healthy spirituality to the school where kids can grow in their knowledge of Jesus Christ and have a place where they can freely have questions and start growing in their faith in Christ. We want to see that there's a healthy community. Now, talking about a healthy community, we're talking about relationships. We're talking about all the role players involved in the school area, the children, the teachers with the children, the relationship with among the teachers themselves, that is healthy. The schools see themselves as a role player in their community. And then the third part that we focus on is a healthy purpose, where we focus on how young people see their future, and leadership development is part of that process. So we've got these 3 main outcomes: healthy future, healthy community, healthy purpose. And within that, we set ourselves up not as a church organization necessarily coming to school, having a specific program, but actually working together with other role players in our communities, be that churches, be that teachers, professionals like psychologists and so on. Those people that have a passion to see God's kingdom facilitated or actually established within those schools, and taking hands with them and partnering to reach those 3 areas of influence. And we see when we started doing that, having a specific person taking responsibility for that, having the capability to raise a team of role players to reach those 3 areas of influence or outcomes, we saw that there's a lot of success within that. Because when you start speaking to a school about the health of the school, there's kind of a non-threatening.
Yeah, everybody wants that. Hey,
everybody wants that, and when we start looking to reach the outcomes, there's different things that can happen, and we started just planning this and putting that on the table and using kind of a structure, if I can say it in that sense, and just giving schools or organizations or the school basically a structure just to reach the...
I was a teacher as well many years ago, and I think any teacher would love to have someone supporting them in the difficult task of training learners. But tell us just something that has happened. I mean, it's been 10 years now. There must have been a lot of fruit of that ministry. Just share with us some of the things that has happened in Tree.
One of the great stories is way back in 2010, I was involved in one of the schools myself, and there was this one grade 11 learner, a girl that got to know Jesus personally. And her testimony is incredible, where she said she always grew up with knowing God is watching us from a distance. But through some of our programs within the school, she got to know Jesus personally and started hearing His voice and started aligning herself, her whole life, with His purpose for her life. To such a degree that today she's part of our ministry team. Today, investing in the next generation. She's in our children's ministry. And the amazing testimony of that is where she told me, she said, thank you for what you did in just exposing me to the truth and the fullness of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And that changed her life completely to such a degree that she's now in full-time ministry and investing her life and her skills and her story into the next generation. And we celebrate that and we thank God for His grace.
That's powerful, because people like this girl probably would have had no other opportunity to hear that truth.
Absolutely.
So for many of these, if nobody comes to the school to share God with them there's no other place where they would.
Absolutely. And that's what we aim for. That is why we do what we do in serving in the schools. And like I said previously, we want to take hands with other life-giving organizations, because there's a lot of people that are city changers in their own capacity, and taking hands, we see that we are so much more effective. And that is one of the stories that happened in one of our schools.
This gives so much hope for people, JT. I think people see more trouble in schools where children are struggling to learn or bullying. So there's a lot to be worried about, but this gives hope. Tell us more about things that, if there's more stories, just to give people hope of what can happen in a school.
Yeah, just talking about hope. One of our youth coaches in one of the inner city schools, he told a story where he has the passion to see young people excel in their academic endeavors in the school. And when he came to this specific school, there one girl, a couple of kids were struggling with the academics, and he started investing in them, and just through being a person and being a personal kind of a coach, if I can say it in that sense, investing time in them and just prepping them and just telling them how good they are and who they are in Jesus Christ, and just building them up, edifying them. In the process of 3-4 weeks, they started seeing the results of those kids from below 30% in their academics, starting to go through tests where it started to reach 85%. And something that is incredible about that is there's a child sitting there without hope, feeling like a miserable failure because I cannot achieve greatness in my academics. And just through one person investing in them and investing, probably just seeing the potential in them, that immediately changed that process into where the kids started reaching 85% in their academics. And that was an ongoing process. So every time the guy told me, every time he goes to the school and he starts seeing those kids, they run to him and just say, listen, this happened, and this is the results, and these are my grades now. And this is just building a head of steam. And this is actually causing an influence within the school. It started off with 3 kids, and it's already reached more than 27 kids within that specific grade. Just guys that's struggling, spending time with them, and having a hope for their future, because they know now, listen, there's potential in me. I'm not stupid or I'm not dumb. I can actually really achieve something great through my life.
So discovering Christ is not only changing them spiritually.
No.
It's actually unlocking the potential they have inside.
It's unlocking the potential. It's bringing them hope. They have a hope for the future. And that is why we're so excited. So the gospel of Jesus Christ is not something just spiritual. It's something physical.
It's transformational, hey?
That's a perfect word. Exactly.
JT, I can't help but think, if people listen to this and they say, my school needs hope, where do they go just to get information on Tree?
We started a website, treeschools.org, where there's basic information, just a contact list and some of the testimonies that we share. and where people can actually just get into contact with us, and we would gladly consult with them and just start dreaming with them. Our team is basically set up to help most churches or ministries just to get a new perspective on reaching kids in their communities and reaching schools eventually, because like I said, we have a couple of years of experience now, things that work, and specifically with the new generation. It's an ever-changing game with the next generation, but from our experience, we can help and consult with people, consult with ministries, schools as well. And if they are keen and they want to just contact us, we can set up meetings with them and just spend a bit of time and start dreaming about what God has to say about their school and how God wants to come facilitate a healthy school in their community. So,
JT, this was so exciting. And I really pray with you that we'll see transformation happen in our city. The schools is such a wonderful place to really be transformed through Christ and His love for people. So all the best for what you're doing.
Thanks.
May we see many more city transformation stories coming, and bless you for the work you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the time.
Thanks a lot.